Chandler Smith and Sheldon Creed are expected to head to Joe Gibbs Racing in 2024 in the NASCAR Xfinity Series, and Jesse Love could be a candidate to take over the 2-car for Rich Choice Racing in 2024. What's going on, guys? It's Daniel, and welcome back to our video. We got a couple stories to talk about today on the channel. Let's go ahead and just jump straight into those really quickly. The first big story we're going to talk about is Jesse Love. As there was a report this morning from an account called Private Porno that Jesse Love could be headed to the 2-car for Rich Choice Racing in the NASCAR Xfinity Series in 2024. Jesse Love, for those who don't know, just won the ARCA Championship for 2023, driving the number 20 car for Venturini Motorsports. And Jesse Love has said publicly that he does want to move up potentially to the NASCAR Xfinity Series or even the Truck Series in the foreseeable future. Jesse Love is currently only 19 years old as we speak and will turn 20 in 2024. Now, why would Jesse Love, if he was to go to RCR, why would he leave the Toyota stable? Well, look at Toyota right now. Toyota is completely stacked at the moment. We're obviously going to talk about this, but you've got Chandler Smith and Sheldon Creed who are likely going to Joe Gibbs Racing's NASCAR Xfinity Series program for 2024. And then, of course, you do have a lot of Cup Series drivers in their Toyota stable that are extremely young. You, of course, got Bubba Wallace, who just turned 30 this year. You've got Chris Bell, will turn 30 next year. Ty Gibbs is only 21 and will turn 22 next year. You've also got Tyler Reddick, who's 27 and will be 28 next year. You've also got a couple other drivers, like, for instance, Chandler Smith, who eventually could move up to the NASCAR Cup Series. Sure, you do have Denny Hamlin and Mark Truex Jr., but Denny Hamlin isn't retiring anytime soon, probably at least for the next 3 or 4 years. Mark Truex Jr. could potentially retire at the end of 2024, but I don't know if that is going to end up taking place. So it would make a lot of sense for Jesse Love to leave there if he wants to make a progression up to the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Now, do I think Jesse Love is ready to move up to the NASCAR Xfinity Series? I don't think so. I think it really needs a little bit more progression. I want to see a little more from Jesse Love and see what he can do in trucks. He did make a couple starts with Tricon Garage earlier this year. Had a couple decent performances. I think got a top 10 in Gateway, and I think got a top 10 maybe at IRP if I'm not mistaken. But he hasn't really had a lot of starts in trucks. So I'm a little worried about jumping him up to the NASCAR Xfinity Series as quick as possible. But one of the reasons I think RSR could be looking at him is, one, that car is fully funded for 2024. Whelen is going to be sticking around despite the fact that Sheldon Creed is not returning to Rich Choice Racing in 2024. Whelen has been a loyal partner to Rich Choice Racing for the last 2 years. So it would make a lot of sense for them to go after a young prospect. But this would be a major loss for Toyota because Jesse Love, in my opinion, is one of the highest prospects. He's not the highest I think Corey Heim currently is, but I think he's second on the totem pole of the young Toyota prospects. And Toyota is really filled up currently at the moment. Like I said, the Xfinity Series program is expected to have Chandler Smith and Sheldon Creed for 2024. But I think that Jesse Love will do a solid. Now, how do I think Jesse Love's going to do in 2024 if he does in fact head over to Rich Choice Racing? I think there might be some struggles for him because he's never driven a NASCAR Xfinity Series car, but maybe he actually does really good because the ARCA car, if I'm not mistaken, is kind of similar to the NASCAR Xfinity Series car, so maybe we see him actually do really good. But expectations are going to be really high, and people think that he will potentially needs to do better than Sheldon Creed. Sheldon Creed did not score a win so far in the NASCAR Xfinity Series this season at this particular point, so I think a lot of people would say that he needs to do better. But remember, Jesse Love is only 19 years of age. So people need to have realistic expectations. I think the goal for Jesse Love, if he does in fact head over to Rich Choice Racing, I think the goal has to be where he needs to score maybe some top 5s or maybe even some top 10s. Try to compete for the playoffs because the 2-car did make the playoffs this year. And I think the other goal has to be for Jesse Love is that he needs to basically try to contend and maybe get a win like Sammy Smith did in 2023. If he doesn't go to the 2-car, who could take over to 2? Well, Parker Retzlaff could be a potential possibility. He's been linked to the 2-car in recent months. Noah Gragson could head to the 2-car, but I don't think the 2-car would be a great fit for him. Maybe Matt DiBenedetto goes there and takes the 2-car, but Matt DiBenedetto could head to other rides for 2024. Maybe Roger Carruth, but many people think that Jesse Love could be taking his 2-car. And I think Jesse, like I said, could have a very solid year in the NASCAR Xfinity Series if he heads over to the 2-car next season. We'll see what happens. There's a good chance, possibly, that Jesse Love, in fact, may be taking over the 2-car in Xfinity in the 2024 season. And now we're going to jump on to the final story of today's episode as we're talking about Chandler Smith and Sheldon Creed. Now, it was originally reported on Friday that Chandler Smith is expected to leave College Racing at the end of 2023 and head over to Joe Gibbs Racing in 2024. Well, it was officially confirmed on Sunday from College Racing that Chandler Smith will not return to College Racing in 2024. Why is this happening? Well, it's been announced in the recent weeks and expected to be announced here in the coming days that Chandler Smith's contract has been bought out from Joe Gibbs Racing because he had to buy out his contract from College. Remember, he had 2 more years on his contract with College Racing. So he had to buy out the remainder years of his contract to make the move over there. So Chandler Smith is expected to jump over to Joe Gibbs Racing in 2024. But who is going to be his teammate next year? According to that same report from Matt Weaver on Friday, Sheldon Creed is likely going to be headed over to Joe Gibbs Racing in 2024. Now, why is Sheldon Creed going to go over there? Well, of course, he does have a little bit of sponsorship and funding with him, but you would not leave Rich Schultz Racing unless he had a better opportunity. Because I think RCR is one of the best NASCAR Xfinity Series teams currently at the moment. The only reason you would leave is to potentially have a chance to go Cup Series racing in the future, and that would be with Joe Gibbs Racing. JGR, I think, is the best NASCAR Xfinity Series team at the moment. Look what John Nemechek has accomplished this year with Joe Gibbs Racing, and we have seen this team do an amazing job in the NASCAR Xfinity Series where John Hunter scoring 7 wins, and John Hunter could get his 8th win this weekend at Martinsville. Now, let's be real about Sheldon Creed. Sheldon Creed has still failed to win a NASCAR Xfinity Series race up this point. He's had some top 5s and some top 10s, and he's definitely been better in 2022 than he was in 2022. But he hasn't had that major growth of getting the win yet, and you compare him to Austin Hill, his teammate throughout this year. Austin Hill has been way better, scoring 4 victories. But to be fair, Austin Hill and Sheldon Creed recently have kind of been almost on the same level of performance. So Austin Hill, I think, like I said throughout the entire season, has been better than Sheldon Creed. So Sheldon Creed is going to have really high expectations if he heads over to Joe Gibbs Racing. A lot of people are going to expect him to have to win races, and I agree. I think if Sheldon Creed does, in fact, head over to Joe Gibbs Racing in 2024, he is going to be expected to contend for victories. And I think Sheldon Creed does have a really great chance and a really great opportunity to do that. I think he's going to be competitive. I think he's going to have a lot of pace and a lot of speed. And I think he will be a threat for sure to contend for the victories and maybe even for the championship as well. I think the goal for Sheldon Creed going into 2024 is he needs to try to see if he can win races. I think the goal is to win 3 or 4 races in the 2024 NASCAR Xfinity Series season. The question will be, what number will he drive? Again, that will be announced in coming days. There was a lot of talk. The announcement was going to come on Monday, but unfortunately the announcement never ended up happening. But let's go back to the other driver that is likely headed over to Joe Gibbs Racing, and that is Chandler Smith. Chandler Smith was a former Toyota driver, and he went to College Racing for 3 years. Well, originally for 3 years, but of course we all know that he will not be returning to College Racing in the 2024 season. Chandler Smith, unlike Sheldon Creed, I think Chandler Smith has a really, really high ceiling. And according to that same report from Matt Weaver on Friday, though he has updated that article, it is reported that if he does head there, that he would be the number 1 guy to be the replacement if drivers got sick for like Ty Gibbs, Bubba Wallace, Denny Hamlin, you name it, even Mark Truex Jr., he will be the number 1 replacement. And I think Chandler Smith next year will win at least 5 to 6 races in the 2024 season. And he's going to need to do that next year because he will be in the line to be the next driver in the Toyota pipeline. There's a very good chance that possibly that Mark Truex Jr. will retire at the end of the 2024 season, considering the fact that Mark Truex Jr. and James Small recently had bad communications. We all know Mark Truex Jr., though, is committed to another year. Some speculate he could retire and maybe not commit to the contract, but I do expect that Mark Truex Jr. is going to commit to that retirement, the year I should say, and then retire at the end of 2024. But the Xfinity Series is definitely going to be wild. What does that do for Ryan Truex, though? Because Ryan Truex wants to go full-time. My expectation for Ryan Truex is he is going to end up being part-time in the NASCAR Xfinity Series next year, unfortunately. It's a shame because I think Ryan Truex 1,000% deserves to be full-time. We know he's going to be part-time with JGR for sure next year. Hopefully he can go full-time in 2024. But you got a lot of movement going on in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Obviously, you've got Austin Hill return to RCR, but then, of course, Jesse Love may be headed over to RCR. You've got Haley Deegan moving up to the NASCAR Xfinity Series with AM Racing in 2024. Junior Motorsports has got Sammy Smith joining the organization next year. There's a lot of talk that AJ Allmendinger is returning to the NASCAR Xfinity Series next year in the 2024 season. There's a lot of moving going on right now in the silly season world, and there's a good chance that possibly more chaos could happen in the silly season, but we know for sure that Chandler Smith is expected to head over to Joe Gibbs Racing in 2024, and Sheldon Creed may in fact be joining him. I think they're both going to have good years, but I think for Sheldon Creed, he needs to step up the plate and have a much better season. So, that is for today's special NASCAR news video. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, notifications on, so if I win a video, it does go live on my channel. Follow me Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and support my Patreon as well. Links go below that, and comment your thoughts on today's video. Do you think Sheldon Creed's headed to Rich Schultz Racing or not? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And do you think Jesse Love is headed to RCR? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I don't think there's any more videos dropping today on the channel. Tomorrow there might be a video talking about who I think will make the Championship 4. I'm not entirely sure though at this point. Friday there should be a major NASCAR news video recapping everything over this past week. Then on Friday we'll likely have, Saturday I should say, the NASCAR Xfinity Series race view from Martinsville. And then on Sunday, of course, the NASCAR Cup Series race view from Martinsville. We've got a lot of great content dropping on the channel that I cannot wait for you guys to check out. So anyways, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's episode, and I'll see you guys next time for more great awesome NASCAR content and other motorsports content on the channel like this. Take care, everybody.